Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
The National Farmers Union is warning that Britain is increasingly over-reliant on other countries for its food and must become more self-sufficient ahead of Brexit. Only 60% of the food we consume is produced in the UK, and that includes many staples. The NFU found we don't even produce enough potatoes, beef or milk to feed the nation for the whole year. Well, joining us now from St David's in Pembrokeshire is Muric Raymond, President of the National Farmers Union. Welcome to you. In your estimation, as much as you can predict, how will Brexit affect farmers and food producers in this country?
Well, good afternoon. And at the moment, obviously, with the referendum vote and with us leaving the European Union, there's huge uncertainty. But if we can have this transition period over the next number of years where we can sit down in partnership with government, then we can deliver a farm policy for the UK that will allow us to invest into farming, and we can reverse this self-sufficiency trend that we have seen falling over the last 30 years.
Explain to us what you mean by the transition period. What would you like to see happening immediately after Brexit?
Well, delighted that the government have offered the same level of support to British farming through this Parliament, but it will give us time, if there is a transitional period from 2019, say, to 2021, 2022, that allows us the time to sit down with government to develop an agricultural policy that's fit for purpose for the UK and allow farmers to invest in their production, techniques, that they can actually then reverse this trend over the last number of years.
Now, we produce, as I said, 60% of our food. Why isn't that enough?
Well, I believe we've become far too dependent on imported food. We have seen some climatic issues around the world over the last 6 months. We've seen huge volatility in pricing. And if we continue the trend over the last 30 years, as a country, we will probably be down at 50% of home production within 10 years. I do not believe that is what the British public or the British consumers wish. And again, we need to invest in agriculture to turn that around. There is no farming country that produces food to the same level of standards, animal welfare that we do in the UK. So the more we import, we could well be importing products from around the world that are produced to lower standards.
The British consumer has changed, though. They are wanting foreign foods now, and the British palate has changed. I mean, that's really something that's moved on.
Obviously, the British public want choice, but I can assure you, with all the surveys that we've done at the National Farmers Union, the British public, the British consumer wishes to have more British food on its plates. They believe in provenance, they understand and they respect the quality of the food that the British farmer produces, and they would like us to increase our production.
Doesn't that curtail variety, though?
No, we're not against variety, and self-sufficiency is a benchmark of what is actually happening in the marketplace as far as production is concerned. And again, we as farmers understand that there are certain crops and fruits and products that we cannot produce in the UK. But when we have staple foods, where we are like beef, potatoes, a lot of horticultural crops, salads, where we are totally becoming dependent on imported food.
Do you think you're guilty of exaggerating and scaremongering just a little bit by saying over-reliance on food from other countries is a national security risk?
Not at all. We have seen our self-sufficiency in food fall from 80-odd% in the 1980s to 60% last year. And there's every indication, unless we reverse that trend, that figure could be 50%. Then we become totally dependent for half our food from other parts of the world. We don't need too many climatic problems in some of those major producing parts of the world, and then we will see food inflation, volatility. It's surely better to actually produce that food at home. We have the capability. And again, I honestly believe that a government has a responsibility to defend the people within the country and also feed the people as well. So there's two big challenges there for all of us. And working in partnership with the government, I honestly do believe that we can reverse this trend in the years to come.
OK, Mira Raymond, President of the National Farmers Union, thank you very much.
Thank you.